Hello and welcome to the first installment into my tutorial series for Unreal Engine. This will be in version 5.3.2 and we will be creating our first project along with our player character. So go ahead and launch. So here is our project browser. It'll have a list of your recent projects, but to create a new one, you will select Games and then we will select third person. We want the target platform to be desktop for quality preset. If you don't have the strongest computer, like you can't run games on max graphics, make sure you select scalable as the quality preset. However, I will be going with maximum. Want to make sure the starter content box is checked. Down here in the bottom right, I'm going to name this tutorial world. And then create. Here is the default world that Unreal Engine gives us. You can hit play. This is our player character, and we can walk around, we can jump. Can't really do anything else though. But we will be making a player character from scratch. Go ahead and hit escape. And the first thing we want to do, go into file and click on new level, or control N. Want to select basic, hit create. Go back to file, save the current level as, I'll save this as map, tutorial. Save that. Then we want to delete the whole third person folder. I want to create a new folder, call this maps. We'll drag the tutorial map we just created into that folder. Okay, then we want to set this map as the default map that the editor opens up to. So we'll go to edit, project settings, and then maps and modes. We will make the tutorial map both the editor startup and the game default map. And you do not have to save your changes in the project settings, so you can just close out. Now that we deleted the third person folder, it deleted our player character in the previous map we were at. If you hit play, you'll notice there's no third person character, and we're just a flying camera. And then control spacebar will open this content drawer without having to come down and click. Now we will create a new folder. This will be our player character. We will create another one. We'll name this the framework. I missed an E. There we go. Now we'll go into framework, right click, create basic asset blueprint class. We'll be creating a game mode base. So we'll name this bpgm underscore tutorial mode. Then you'll want to open this, and you can drag this tab up to the top bar. I'll just add it as a tab in the window. So we'll keep this open. We'll reopen our content drawer. Content, go to player character, new folder. We'll do one as blueprints. Then we'll do another one as input. Go into your blueprints. Add another blueprint class. This will be our character class. And it says bp underscore player character. Enter. Now that we have the character created, in the tutorial game mode, under the default pawn class, we'll select our player character that we just created. And we'll hit compile and save. We can close out of this tab, reopen the content drawer, go into player character. So here we want to select our mesh. Scroll down a little bit to skeletal mesh asset. Hit the drop down. You can select the mesh we want to choose. However, I will be selecting SKM Quinn. If you'd like, you can select Manny. So I'll select Quinn. Now, this blue arrow is the forward direction. And it looks like he's floating. So we want to lower him and have him face forward. So in the transform location, on the third column, the blue, which is the z-axis, for the first number, I want to do -89. And then rotation, same column in the blue, I want to do -90 degrees. So now they're exactly where we want, and they're facing the exact rotation we want them in. So we can compile and save. Now enter your content drawer, back out to player character, and go into your input. You'll be creating one folder. This folder will be your IA, and we'll create a mapping context for it. So you can right click, go to input, and then with the 3 controllers, the input mapping context. We'll name this IMC _ player character. And enter. You can open this. We'll be using it later. Now go into your IA folder. Right click, go to input. We'll add a input action. We'll type in IA _ camera. This will be our view or our look. Enter. And then we'll go into it. Under value type, we want to change it from a digital bool to axis 2D. Save it. And you can right click and duplicate it, or just hit Control D. We will name this one IA _ move. You can go into this and save it. Check it's vector 2D. It is, so we can now close out of both of these tabs. Which brings us to the mapping context of our player character. We want to add a mapping, open it up. We want to add our move. So here you want to click on the keyboard, hit W, hit this drop down, go into it, go to modifiers, add an element. We'll be adding a swizzle input axis. We want to add another input for it. Make this one A. Under modifiers, add a modifier. This will be a negate. We'll add another key. Keyboard S. I want to add 2 modifiers, a swizzle and a negate. I want to add one last one. This will be D, and we can just leave it alone. So we'll uncollapse the move and back up to mappings, hit the plus. We'll add a camera. So instead of clicking on the keyboard, we'll hit the drop down, go to mouse, and we want a mouse XY 2D axis. Select that, open it up, add a modifier. We will add a negate. This was a little more complex though. Oops. We'll open the negate, and we want to deselect the X and Z axes. Save. Now we can close out of the mapping context. So before we add these to our character, we need to make sure we add a camera. So under components, the green plus sign that says add, we want to add a spring arm. And I accidentally parented that, so unparent it by dragging it into the mesh. Keep the spring arm selected, and we will add a camera. And make sure camera is a child of the spring arm. You will see a little indentation and the drop down next to the spring arm. If you click it, it will make the camera disappear. Now we want to select the spring arm. So it looks like our transformations that we did to our character went into the spring arm. To fix this, if it happened to you, just make sure it's all zeroed out. Check the camera and make sure it's the same. It is. Now I want the spring arm to be a little higher. So I'll hold on to this blue arrow, drag it up to about the chest, and then compile and save. Then we want to go back up to the player character self, and we want to check a box. This will affect our camera. So under pawn, we'll make sure use controller rotation pitch is checked. Compile and save. If it's not checked, what will happen is when you try to look up and down, move your mouse up and down, it will not register it. So you will only be able to look sideways if this is unchecked. So now that it's checked, we can look up and down just fine. Now we will add the coding or the blueprints at our mapping context and all our inputs. So this is the default that Unreal gives you, but you can select the begin overlap and event tick and delete them. We will start with the begin play. On the pin, you can drag off of it, type in cast to player controller. Enter, align this up. To do a quick align, you can select what you want to align, then hold control, click what you want it to align to, and hit Q. It'll align it straight. Now we will drag off of the object and get our player controller. Next, off of the as player controller, we want to drag this into a enhanced input local player subsystem with the pink F. And we want to make sure this is valid. We'll drag off of it, get an is valid node with the question mark, and drag off of the top pin of the player controller cast to the execute. Next, we want to add the mapping context. So off of the local player subsystem, we will add mapping context. Make sure the is valid goes into the mapping context. And then you can select our IMC player character that we just made. Compile and save. Now we will add our inputs. We'll start with the movement. So IA move. Put this in the corner. On the action value, you want to right click this, split the struct pin, and then off of triggered, we will add movement input. We'll add some space, and then right click in this space, we will get our control rotation. Split the struct pin, and now we want to get the right vector. Oops, not drag off of it. Right click in space, and then get right vector. And make sure it's just the get right vector. We need a little bit more space. Then on the in rotation, right click, split the struct pin. We will add the X and Z. Align this, and the return, stick that into the world direction. And then the action value X, we want to go into the scale. You can double click these lines. I'll add a node so you can make it look a little bit more cleaner. And it helps too when you come back and look at it, you can see exactly where everything's going. Now we want to duplicate this control rotation and the movement input. Hold control, select both of those, and then off of the first movement input, drag it into the next one. Now we want to get our forward vector. Same thing as previous, split the struct pin, but this time we want just the Z, and then stick that into the world direction. Now we want the action value Y to go into the scale. And that is our movement input. Next we'll do our camera. So add our IA look. No, IA camera. Same thing, split the struct pin. Now we want to add controller yaw. We also want to add controller pitch. So we want X to go into the yaw and Y to go into the pitch. Make sure it's all lined up. Make the action value Y look cleaner. Compile and save. Then we will go back to our map tutorial, hit play. And I forgot one thing. In our map tutorial, we will go to world settings. Game mode override, we want our tutorial mode. Save that. Now we have our character, we can look up and down. And we can move. Can't jump or anything because we did not add those. But this is a basic player controller and player character. The next episode we will add animations so it does not look as rigid and clunky. If you liked the video, please subscribe and like. If you did not like the video, you can dislike it, feel free. If I missed anything, you can feel free to leave a comment and let me know how I did. See you on the next one.